Hello, this is Jordan. This video is being recorded for the morning of Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to talk about, or at least make the point based on some charts here, that it appears that no one really cares about gold right now. Now, at least in my worldview, it seems that generalists are obsessed about the economic data. Are we going into a recession, or is there a slowdown? Is there going to be a soft landing? And then you look at technical analysts, and to me, they're just entirely focused on the stock market. There's a breadth thrust, new bull market, bad economy, or there's really weak breadth. This is a bear market. We're in a new bull market. No, we're still in a bear market. We haven't seen the bottom yet. So all these things are going on, and no one is talking about gold and the fact that gold, as I've said, is on the cusp of potentially the biggest breakout. And if it happens, it would be the biggest in 50 years. So it's just really surprising to me that gold is not a bigger deal right now. I think it should be, but maybe I'm just weird. Who knows? So this chart was floating around on Twitter last week. Great chart. The white bars are the number of stories on gold, and each bar is 1 month worth of data. So if you look at the top left, you can see this chart ended at the end of April. And obviously, if you look at March, there were quite a few stories on gold. But aside from that, if you look at the last several months, and you compare that to, look at similar lows. You had the beginning of 2019, then you had a low around the third quarter in 2021. So you look at those levels, and those were when gold was obviously coming off of lows in price. And yet the number of stories are around those levels, a little bit above, but not in a material way. And the other thing is, look at, you got the 2020 peak and the 2022 peak, and look how high the white bars are. They're super high, compared to where we are now. So it's just really interesting. After the big decline in 2022, look how, gold is that the stories are like half as much as they were 1 year ago. And, just looking at this data in a vacuum, that would tell you that, there's no way that there's going, it supports my point that the big decline everyone's looking for already happened in 2022. And so more evidence of that, wrong key there, is, look at the ETF holdings in gold and silver. So this is a great chart from QF Research on Twitter. Fantastic follow, just really high level analysis, with zero bias. And, a lot of his work he's shown recently in this, call it this fledgling bull market in precious metals. He's been tracking this and other sentiment data that suggests that, sentiment is not really bullish yet in this sector. And so this is just one indicator. And so looking at the bottom there, that is the known ETF holdings of gold. So typically, gold goes up, more people pile into the ETF. ETF has to buy more gold. And, look at the arrows there. You've had this rebound in gold. And, even since gold started the rebound, the ETF holdings are a little bit below where they were in October of 2022. And look at the level now compared to when gold peaked, or a month or so after it peaked. It looks like October 2020 was the peak. You're looking at probably 111, 112 million ounces. I'm assuming that's ounces there, the bottom panel. 111, 112 compared to about 93 right now. It's a little bit higher because I think this chart is a week old, or it was posted a week ago. So it's based on what I'm looking at, I think the ETF holdings are a little bit higher right now. They've started to move up. But, nevertheless, this is really stark here, how you've had this 6-month rebound in gold, and no increase in the ETF holdings whatsoever. Again, gold really close, really inches away from breaking to a new all-time high, and the ETF holdings are way below where they were in September. Now, one larger point is eventually, talking about sentiment, sometimes, especially with gold and silver as well, when in other markets too, when they're getting ready to make these big breakouts, you may need an increase in bullish sentiment. So for gold to make this huge breakout, for silver to run above 30, you will need to see more buying coming in, and these ETF holdings really pick up. So where they are right now, I mean, it's fine. It's good. This is great from a sentiment perspective, but I mean, it's just common sense. So for gold to make this huge breakout, you're going to see a burst in bullish sentiment when that happens. So you shouldn't be scared off by that. I'm just making the larger point right now that, nobody really gives a shit. They're focused on all these other things and not what's going on in precious metals. And so here's a chart of the silver ETF holdings, and wow, I mean, this is way below, when silver had that one peak in January 2021. The silver squeeze, I mean, that marked the top. But the ETF holdings, I mean, look, you had over 1 billion ounces, and now we're way below. We're like at 752 million. And I don't know, this could be a week old or not. I'm sorry, I forget which day this was posted. But look, it's the same thing with gold. So again, looking at these charts, that's what we're seeing. Nobody really gives a shit about precious metals right now outside of our gold bug world and all of that. People are more obsessed about trying to figure out if the stock market's in a bull or bear. Is the economy going to go into a recession? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I know that stuff is important. I'm not saying it, you should not care about that, but it's just really interesting to me how, gold and silver are really, really under the radar right now relative to where they really should be. So, that's all I got for this video. Of course, there's other sentiment indicators we can cover in the near future, but let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested to hear your comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys again in the next video.